Several days have passed since I left that horrible tower. The pollen is no more, and I know in my heart the detective and Prince Ross have saved us all. But just as I thought the debacle was over, my sleep has suddenly been plagued with nightmares. Every night I see my dearest friend in danger, and a young girl's voice urges me to find him. I do not know what the dream may lead to, but for Kai, I must go. I can only hope I will be as strong and brave as the detective.
Hide in here and don't make a sound. I'll come back for you as soon as I can.
Please, someone! Help us! Help us!
Thank you for freeing me, miss. I must have accidentally triggered a magical trap. Unfortunately, there is still the matter of these chains. If you would be so kind. thank you for freeing me, miss. I must have accidentally triggered a magical trap. Unfortunately, there is... At last. Thank you, miss. My name is Gwyn. I am a prince from a faraway country. I do not know what kind of place this is, but it is crawling with enchanted traps. We must find a way out. That's odd. I believe this flower came from elsewhere. I've seen this girl before. While I was traveling with my mother, I began to have a recurring dream, and this child was asking for my help. That's why I'm here. She did not seem this small when she came to my dreams. What could she need of me? Regardless, it is my duty as prince to protect those in need. I will stay here and guard her. I've seen this girl before. While I was traveling with my mother, I began to have a recurring dream, and this child was asking for my help. That's why I'm here. Those beasts must be the creation of some evil power. But there's no need to worry. That eagle is my mother's familiar. She's always been a little overprotective. To be honest, this is the first time I've traveled outside my kingdom. I wished to understand the world beyond our country. As heir to the throne, there is much for me to learn.
The last two princesses have gone. Floralia has fallen. The goddess is vulnerable. A wicked witch has sworn revenge on Flora. She sets traps everywhere, hoping to catch her. We must be careful. Such news the wind carries! The Flora goddess is weak. She cannot hold to her form. The natural balance is in danger! The last two princesses have gone. Floralia has fallen. The goddess is...
The winged creature took her to that cliff. We must follow after them. We'll need to find a hook. The winged creature took her to that cliff. We must follow after them. We'll need to find a hook. Now, let's go after that beast. How on earth did we manage to lose sight of a winged monkey? Wait, there's something in the bushes. How on earth did we manage to lose sight of a winged monkey? Wait, there's something in the bushes. Gerda, thank goodness I found you. There's no time to explain. This girl, Thumbelina, she fell victim to the same curse I did, and her memory is all but lost. We must break this curse, and fast. You are the golden child. Only you can help her. Perhaps the way to break the spell your friend mentioned is beyond this door. There must be a passageway on the other side of the water. We should follow that monkey. Are you truly the Golden Child? Then it was you who saved me all those years ago. I am Snow White's son. I owe my life to you. It is my honor to provide you with any aid you require. I can feel the strong presence of an evil aura here. This must be the core of the curses. I can feel the strong presence of an evil aura here. This must be the core of the curses. Don't worry about me. I'll only get in the way. I know you'll figure out a way to break the curse. I trust you. I can feel the strong presence of an evil aura here. This must be the core of the curses. Don't worry about me. I'll only get in the way. I can feel the strong presence. I can feel the strong presence of. I can feel the strong presence of an evil aura here. This.
Such news the wind carries!
knew you could do it. Thank you. I should tell you the whole story. Thumbelina is actually Flora, the goddess of flowers, and the guardian of nature's balance. I'm not sure what happened, but she must have been terribly weak to fall victim to this curse. We need to send her back to her home to recuperate. Our world needs her protection. Thumbelina is the goddess Flora. We must bring her home before it's too late. Thumbelina's curse is broken, but now she's trapped! Go. I'll take care of those monkeys. No harm will come to Thumbelina.
Go. I'll take care of those monkeys. No harm will come.
We must hurry. There's not a moment to lose. Ice won't be enough to destroy the vines. Perhaps if we could combine extreme heat and cold together. We must hurry. There's not a moment to lose. Ice won't be enough to destroy the vines. Perhaps if we could combine extreme heat and cold together. We will do this together. I have her. We need to get her home quickly.
Hurry, there's no time to lose.
I have her. We need to get her home quickly.
Run all you want, little mice. You will never leave this place. Never!
As well as a modicum of my power. Thank you for answering my call. You have all my deepest gratitude, and I am gladdened the journey has seen you likewise rewarded. I must stay in Rosaria to replenish my powers before I can return. But I will rest easy, knowing the three of you will be there in my stead.
Our time in Floralia has finally drawn to an end. Kai is eager to return to his studies. Although I think he is very wise already, he is anxious to be able to use his knowledge to protect those important to him. Gwen tells me he has discovered more than he hoped for, and found someone he thought lost to him. He has invited me to visit the castle, under much friendlier circumstances. As for me, I feel as though I've lived more in the past few days than I ever have before. I've met so many new friends, and I am much more confident in using my powers. I am not sure what the goddess meant of the rewards we have received, but what greater reward could there be than saving the world? I hope one day the three of us will have another adventure together. Until then, it is time to go home.
There once lived a queen of a mountain kingdom, the beautiful Violante. She was much beloved by her people, but fragile and of ill health. One day, she discovered she was pregnant. Anxious for the baby's health, Violante would consume a medicinal potion every day. The baby arrived safely, a girl with beautiful golden hair. But weak from childbirth, Violante soon passed away. The kingdom mourned for the loss of their queen. Moved by their grief and seeing trouble brewing within their midst, their patron goddess blessed the small princess with a gift. Within the princess would be the power of restoration, enhanced as her hair grew ever longer, and this healing touch could be bestowed upon others with little more than a song. The princess grew to be the very image of her mother, a lovely, kind-hearted girl. With the goddess's blessing, the princess was named Rapunzel. There was a time, long, long ago, when gods resided among the masses, spreading their will through the people. One such goddess was the deity of flowers, Flora. She stood for neither good nor evil, but in the balance of nature and the way of the fates. The legends of old would tell of Flora showing favor to certain individuals. Chosen by virtue of character, they were the guardians of Flora. For each guardian chosen, there would be another of opposing nature to balance them. The guardians were given special powers along with immortality, allowing them to better uphold Flora's legacy. But the gifts were not always a boon. Once chosen, a guardian could only follow the goddess's will and face eternal life, hoping one day to be able to find the wisdom in her decision. Once, there was a widowed king. Though he had a daughter, the king was lonely and took for himself another wife. Queen Melanie was a somber woman, yearning to win over the hearts of the people. The queen's only trusted friend was a servant, Mother Gothel. When she became pregnant, Mother Gothel gave her a potion that, unbeknownst to Melanie, was made from a cursed dark flower. When Melanie's daughter, Belladonna, was born, she carried within her the wicked power of that flower, and those who Belladonna touched would fall deathly ill and perish. Belladonna was locked away in a tower, and Melanie realized she had been deceived by the cruel servant. Guilt and despair drove her to madness, and she died a bitter, angry woman. Forsaken, Belladonna's only savior was her half-sister, Rapunzel, who had been blessed with powers that could counter hers and would come to no harm with their proximity. The nature of their powers drew the two sisters together. Belladonna's world centered entirely around Rapunzel, and she, in turn, devoted herself to the little sister who relied solely on her. There was once a queen of the Swiss Alps named Brunhilde, who was a faithful disciple of the goddess Flora. Brunhilde had two twin children, both blessed with the spirit of Flora. Prince Ross Red, with his brash confidence, was made guardian of the fiery Rosa. Princess Snow White, with her cool elegance, was made guardian of the Frost Edelweiss. When the queen passed away, the king married again. Their stepmother, jealous of Snow White's beauty, bewitched the king and bade him execute the twins for a false offense. But a magic frog Snow White had befriended exposed the stepmother's wickedness and saved them. The frog revealed himself to be an exiled prince, needing a princess's kiss to break his curse. A grateful Snow White agreed to kiss him. The two soon fell in love and were to be wed. But Ross Red vehemently protested his sister's marriage to a cursed man, and the twins quarreled fiercely. In the end, Snow White married the prince, and Ross Red left the mountains to find his own path. Years passed, and any reconciliation seemed hopeless. Long ago, two rival clans inhabited a piece of land together. Under the goddess Flora's patronage, one clan thrived, while the young chief of the weaker clan saw the end of his people draw near. He decided to implore the goddess, overcoming harsh trials in his quest. Touched by his sincerity and determination, the goddess gave the man 3 artifacts: a sword, a mirror, and a jewel. The goddess told him to use the artifacts if he was determined to change the destiny of his clan, but she warned him that the price would be steep for disrupting the fates. After a long, drawn-out battle with the artifacts in hand, the chief was victorious. But in the midst of it all, he had also lost his family, his lover, and too many of his people. He now understood the goddess's warning. Though their destiny had changed, the cost that had been paid was too dear. With a solemn heart, he joined the two clans together, crowning himself king. The king lived on to become a wise ruler. He sealed the artifacts, turning over their guardianship and history to his heir before he died. So goes the tale of the first king of Floralia. The power of a goddess is never absolute, for it rises and falls in accordance to the faith she has bestowed. Such a decline befell Flora, the nature goddess, forcing her to revert to a child's form. Weakened, Flora came across a wicked witch whose curse shrunk the goddess to fit in her wizened palm. The witch named her Thumbelina, intent on keeping her captive. Flora managed to escape, but in her vulnerable state, many more perils faced her. Powerless and lost, she was forced into marriage to a mole, but was saved by a kind swallow in the nick of time. Flora was taken to a floral fairyland, where the fairy prince released her from the curse and allowed her to recuperate within his lands. Soon, Flora and the prince fell in love. The prince proposed, but Flora could only refuse, knowing her duty lay elsewhere. Though broken-hearted, the prince gave his blessing and welcomed her to visit his lands whenever the need arose. Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Dorothy. One day, her house was swept up by a mysterious tornado that carried her to a magical land of fairies and flowers. Dorothy learned of a goddess residing among the fairies. Hoping she could show her the way home, Dorothy set off on a journey to the core of the fairyland, Rosaria, joined by the others she befriended. Among her companions was a scarecrow who confessed his desire for a brain, a tin man who proclaimed his wish for a heart, and a cowardly lion who wished for courage. They overcame many obstacles and perils along the way, only to have their hopes dashed when the goddess confessed she was unable to grant all of their wishes. Instead, the goddess gave the scarecrow, tin man, and lion tokens of her esteem. for their journey had made it evident they possessed the traits they so desired already.